Trenches Podcast.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Trenches Podcast. I'm here with a very special guest. I'm very lucky to have the opportunity to meet and learn from this individual to help me learn and navigate through the world of autism. I am here with Mr. Bryant.
Oh, you flattered
How are
me.
you?
You flattered me, man.
How are things?
Thanks. I'm good, man. I'm good.
Good.
Good to be here. You know?
I appreciate you, bro. I know you told me that it was a little hike to get here, bro.
It was a little bit, a little further than I thought, but it's all good. 30 minutes, not too bad.
Nah, bro. That's the thing about Vegas, bro, is that it's a lot, but it's not.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of like a little bowl. 30 minutes is like probably the longest trip you'll take, right?
Yeah, you can get anywhere, I think, in 30 or 40 minutes.
That's what's up.
Yeah. So, not too bad, man. Not too bad. I like the setup.
Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate
You're
you.
coming up.
I told you about coming on the podcast, bro, like the early days. Did not look like this.
That was like the infancy? When you told me?
Yeah, bro. It was like 2 episodes in. But
really?
I had to jock it like, hey, man, I've been doing this for a while. You know?
I was like, oh, this dude's been doing it.
I was like,
Okay.
bro, I'm like, you should come by and do a podcast.
Yeah. It's like, okay.
But no, dude, thank you, bro. I appreciate you.
No.
Dude, so how's everything been, bro? Well, let's give them a little bit of backstory, bro. You don't have to say the name of the company, but I met you through.
Yeah, so we met through the company I was formerly at. I mean, it was good, you know. They got a good program going, honestly. It's just that, I mean, for one thing, I always wanted to do my own thing. And then, everything good?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then second of all, they kind of just overwork you there.
Yeah.
In my position,
sure.
As a BCBA, like it's back to back.
Yeah.
Dang, dude, no breaks. And I gotta write these reports. So I was like, man, and the pay is good. But when you break it down to how much I work versus the pay, it's like, okay, it's not that good.
Sure.
Because if I work here or whatever, and I work the same amount, I'll get way more. So it's like, you guys give me a good salary, but you're also overworking me. So the ratio of hours to pay doesn't really make sense. So, yeah.
The world of salary just sucks, bro. But that's a whole different topic. Like I told you, I'm a numbers guy, bro. But so real quick, you say a BCBA, bro. For people who don't understand what that is, bro, if you want to explain to them.
Right. So I'm a board certified behavior analyst. Behavior analyst. Let me give you a little backstory. So I went to school. Went to school at UC Davis, studied exercise biology and psychology as a minor originally because I wanted to be a physical therapist.
Okay.
But I had to stay an extra couple quarters anyways. It's like, all right, I'll just take a couple extra classes and just double major in psychology. So I did that, looking for a job, fresh out of college. I got that, like post-grad depression, like you're freshly graduated and you're offering me these jobs that pay $15 an hour. Like, oh my God, what did I do? What did I get myself into? So I honestly just went on Indeed, typed in exercise biology. I was like a personal trainer for a couple months, and I typed in psychology. I was like, okay, there's this behavior technician job. Let me try that out. First day was wild. Like I was like, this was not what I thought it was gonna be. Like,
was it at this place?
No.
Oh,
this was in San Jose.
Oh, I got you. Okay.
Yeah, I used to live in San Jose. And that place was a center, so it was wild there. The kids smacking people, spitting on people. There's just wild stuff going on there. And I was like, damn, what am I doing? But I stuck it out, and like eventually you get better and better and better. I'm like, okay, this is like, it's like a skill set you grow, you know?
Yeah.
Like if you play basketball enough, you'll get good at it.
Sure.
It's the same concept. So, okay, it kind of feels good to be good, you know?
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, let me look into this. So I decided, like, hey, I'm going to get my master's in it in applied behavior analysis at Ball State University. From there I was like, all right, I'm gonna do this. So I got my board certification, which is a whole nother process. That took just as long as the degree itself.
For real?
Yeah.
Is that just because like the certification is? You have to go to separate school, or is it like a?
No. So the school you go to for your master's will qualify you for the test, but you need when I did it was 1,500 hours of like RBT time, registered behavior technician time. So I had to do that, get all these signatures, then pay for the test, which is like $500. And at the time, it's like, dude, I'm like broke.
Yeah.
And you take the test. The test is notoriously hard, but yeah, eventually I got it.
Hell yeah.
Became a board certified analyst, and now it's like, all right, I'm doing my thing. But yeah, worked there for a while. Eventually, I came to where I was at here in Vegas. Yeah, and then quit that job, and now I'm here. So
there you go. Hey, bro, don't make it sound so sad, bro.
no, I'm doing my thing.
No. That's good, bro. Cause yeah, man, and that's how we met. Little backstory too. I've actually never talked. I mean, I've hinted about it, but we I don't know. Never really told the story, but our son he's gonna be 5 next week, bro. So at like 1.5, we took him to a doctor to like get his shot, just to get like his regular shots. And this lady was like, she was just kind of looking at him, and she was like, I mean, we've never seen her before. Like the doctor that we usually go to, he was out or something. And she was just kind of like looking at him, and she was like, yeah, he's you gotta stop giving him food. He's fat. Oh. And I was just like, well, yeah, but like, okay,
Okay. Yeah.
I'm like, he's 1.5, but sure.
Oh, dang.
Because I look at pictures, bro, and I mean, obviously he's smaller, but whatever. She was like, yeah, he's kind of fat. Like, no more juice. Like, none of you guys should be drinking juice. Just kind of going through. We're like, oh, okay. Can we just get a shot so we can go?
Yeah.
And then she's like, have you guys ever had him tested for autism? But she said it like in a really I guess maybe we just took it that way, but I don't know. It was just like after the slew of like, just kind of like weird comments, So she was like, you guys ever had him tested for autism? And we're like, no, like, you guys should. I'm gonna go. The lady in the front's gonna give you this piece of paper. Go see who I tell them, who, whatever. And then we're just kind of like confused. Obviously, we're like just like a punch in the face. We're like, I don't. What does that even mean?
Yeah.
And I don't know. It was just strange. So we did take him to a doctor, and I forget what I don't remember, but they basically diagnosed him, and then we took him to this one place back in Chicago, and he was there kind of the same hours, same amount of days. And they were like, yeah, he's doing really good, just kind of working on stuff. We moved here. We were here for like maybe 2.5 months, and then the world shut down. So like we couldn't find anywhere. And it was just like, we're doing puzzles with him and stuff like that, but we're coming here already knowing that he's diagnosed, and we're like, okay, we just got to find him a facility that's like the one we were at. We went through 2 here, and it was like, I don't know, just like the front office, I'm just like, man, I don't know. It just looks kind of crazy. We took him to we left that one to a different place, bro. He had like crazy diaper rash, and I'm like, what's going on? Anyway, so thank God we found the place that we took him where I met you, and it was just night and day. But when we were here, we took him to a doctor, and I forget how I brought it up, and I was like, yeah, he's on the spectrum. And he was like, he looked at us and he was like, this little boy's a superhero. He's awesome. And it was really emotional, man, because up until that point, no professional has like really been nice, So it was like, wow, it was really cool. And he eventually told us that like, his son is autistic, and he's like, he's awesome. I love him. And, kind of saying the same thing that everybody else says, like, get him into something that, he can focus on and shit like that. So, but anyways, so that was kind of that, the whole process. So yeah, our son is on the spectrum, and we're working, every day to get him right. But yeah, man, that whole thing, dude, like, my wife and I, bro, we've been together going on 7 years. So I was 21, she was 20 when we had him. Dang. So 22 and 21, they're telling us that our kid has autism. Nobody in my family that I know of has it. Nobody in her family knows. Only thing we're doing is Googling this shit.
Have you heard of it before that?
Yeah. Because but I never paid attention to it.
Yeah.
I had a friend at the time. His daughter, once we actually got him diagnosed, I told him, and he's like, oh, dude, that's gonna be awesome. Like, my daughter was like the exact same way that he was, Okay. And she's like 7th grade, I think, now. Okay. But he was kind of explaining to me the process, like speech therapy and all that stuff, and it was pretty cool for him to basically give me the blueprints, and basically everything has been followed then. And like now, it's like school started for her, like 60-40, like special ed and then regular class, and then now I think she's fully regular class.
It's a little more and more and more.
Yeah. So it's just, you know, it's taking time, of course, but, you know, anyway, so that's about the most of it. We have another friend who, her brother is also, he's pretty severe. But those are the only two things. But again, it's just like, you know, my brother's this and that, okay, and then, but again, not learning about it or not taking the time to really educate ourselves about it until, you know, we came here, and well, since he got diagnosed, but here I feel like everything was just on overdrive, you know. But yeah, man. So I guess number one question, bro, is like, what is autism, bro? What does it mean to be diagnosed? Yeah, with that, is it like, I don't know, a disease, trait?
I don't know. It's kind of
gene,
controversial. Like no one really knows what to call it. Like,
yeah.
I mean, it is a deficit. You know, they call it developmental disorder, because the way you are developing is a bit slower than the other, you know, general population.
A little closer to
you. Oh, my bad.
Oh, no, you good.
Yeah, so autism is essentially a deficit in communication, socialization, and functional skills. So your communication in terms of your expressive language, how you're talking, you're receptive, how you're understanding what people are saying, socialization wise, like how to socialize with people, look them in the eyes and talk and have a conversation back and forth.
Bro, which we both discovered we have a problem with.
we
both do not like looking at people in the eyes.
I mean, now you're making it more weird. Like before it was cool.
I know.
But it's essentially a delay.
Yeah.
It's a delay, and some people are more severe with it. Some people are not so severe. When I was coming up, they were calling it like low functioning, moderate, high functioning.
Yeah, I hear that term brought up a lot.
Yeah, now I don't really know what it's called. Now people say impacted by autism, by greatly impacted, not or minorly impacted by autism, you know?
Yeah.
So the terminology keeps changing.
Sure. So it's the same shit, though.
It's the same thing, yeah. So, yeah, that's essentially what it is, a developmental delay. So,
you know, which is interesting, bro, because, again, we didn't know anything about it. When she told us that, bro, I was almost offended. I'm not going to lie to you.
Yeah.
I was just like, what you talking about? Like, yeah, he's not... Because it's like kind of like the certain things by the certain age you're supposed to be saying.
Yeah,
there's
hallmarks.
Yeah. And I'm just like, well, we speak to him in English and Spanish.
Yeah.
You know, throughout the day. Like if he's with us, we'll throw words with my mom and dad. They're both super bilingual. And I'm just like, and you know, I'm just like, no, we're just confusing the little kid, you know?
Yeah, and bilingual families, their kid usually does take a little longer to start talking.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But then and then I'm telling like my dad, like my parents, again, we're very thankful. Like both of our parents are very, you know, they're like, dude, whatever he needs, let's do it, whatever.
Yeah.
There was no judgment, no type of, you know, any negative, anything, you know, I was super thankful for. And my dad was like, dude, you know, yeah, let's take them for whatever. But at the same time, like there's kids in Mexico, bro, who can't talk till they're like 6.
Yeah.
And that's just kind of what it is, you know?
Yeah.
And I was just like, yeah. That's it.
6 not talking.
I'm
cool.
like, bro, whatever. I'm like, you know,
Yeah.
I wasn't the brightest student. And I'm just like,
Yeah.
you know, whatever. But again, that's just not, for whatever reason, it could be maybe... a slew of things. It could be you're maybe embarrassed or you're just shocked. You don't want to accept that your child has a delay. You know what I mean? Whatever the reason is, it is, right? But but yeah, man, it was interesting the way I guess that was brought up to us.
Yeah.
But why do you think that is, bro? Why do you think there is a stigma, I guess?
Yeah, I mean, all mental health disorders kind of have a stigma. You know, oh, you're depressed. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah.
We talked about that on the last episode of the Trenches
Did you?
podcast with Miss Jerry. Make sure you guys go check that out. Sorry, bro.
But yeah, it's the same concept. Like, oh, you have whatever extreme anxiety. Oh, it's kind of awkward. You
Yeah.
know, it's the same kind of thing. Like, oh, you have autism. Oh, okay. It's like I don't know, like a pause you have to take and kind of think about it. But I mean, anything that's different has a stigma behind it. You know, if you're autistic, there's a stigma. If, like I said, you're depressed, there's going to be a stigma. If you're kind of awkward, there's going to be a stigma. Like everything kind of has a stigma behind it. Autism specifically, I think, is a little different, you know, because again, it's a spectrum. You could be super high functioning and you could barely notice it, or you could be kind of severe and it's like extremely obvious. So it really depends. You know, people who are used to be called Asperger's, now it's called, as far as I know, now it's just called high functioning.
Really?
Yeah, they got rid of the term Asperger's. I know that. Now I believe it's just high functioning. So
that's interesting when they do that.
They keep changing it.
I don't
know. I don't know.
I guess to be politically correct.
Yeah, just a term always gets offensive eventually.
Yeah.
Like before autism, it was called some other bad stuff, but yeah.
Bro, what? Yeah. So okay, I'm glad you brought that up. What? So this is. I wanted to get to this, but you know what? One of the things that we struggled with very early on, and it went away as quick as it came, was like how to, I guess, tell, you know, family members, or how do you tell strangers if like you're out or whatever, he's being kind of crazy. I guess like what is the approach? Because in the beginning it was just you know, now it's just like, hey man, you know, he's got that, like, I don't know. I've always been protective of him.
Yeah.
But now I think it's just times 1,000. Yeah. So it's just like, bro, let me catch you saying something funny. About him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's almost like, you know, even moving here, me personally, I had a little bit of anxiety about it because I'm like, listen, man, somebody gets a little funny, like, we're just gonna have to talk about this. Yeah. You know, or whatever. Yeah. But you know, thankfully, everybody's been everybody's been super cool, like understanding. And but yeah, that's just like, I'm sure, because some people don't maybe face it as head on. But like, I guess for you, bro, like what do you think
in terms of like,
yeah, like, I guess how would you communicate, like,
how to let people know,
yeah, like, or like, cause it's almost uncomfortable a little bit too.
I don't know, because I don't have a kid with autism.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
I work with them,
sure,
but I don't introduce them. Like,
yeah, I feel
you know, I guess I would just, it's education, let them know, hey, my kid has autism. You know, they'll probably be like, oh, what's that? Well, he just has some delays in these behaviors that we're working on, you know, because that's essentially what it is. It's behaviors, whatever, you know, like, for example, your kid, if you don't mind me saying,
no,
like, you know, he's once in a while will have some aggression. He'll kind of smack people, run through people, maybe tantrum a little bit. So when you see that in public, people are like, oh, what, are you letting your kid do that? Yeah. Blah, blah, blah. It's like, well, it's a little different. Sure. You know, what's the function behind it?
Dude, so he sometimes does that, and he doesn't do it as much anymore. Yeah. Do you want to let me text him to bring the bottle? Oh, sure. Yeah, that's one of the things, bro, where like, some, like, before, bro, when he was small, he'd throw himself on the floor and shit. Yeah. And then I remember in public, bro, it's like kids were screaming and shit. I'm like, yo, bro, say something to him, bro. Yeah,
smack that
like,
kid.
I'm at Denny's, bro, just litty with the homies, and I'm just like, yo, tell him to shut, like, you know. Yeah. But once you have him, I'm just like, oh, dude, you don't even. He could just be having a little meltdown. Yeah. He could just doesn't like ketchup on his fries. You know what I mean? Yeah. Or he could have autism, bro, and you don't know. Yeah. So like, just an example, bro. More recently, we went to Utah, went to St. George. We went to this place called Veo. You ever been over there? No. Dude, there's this little pie place. It's the size of this fucking office.
Veo?
It's called Veo Pies. Okay. They make homemade pies. They're delicious.
Okay.
So we went there, and we got, you know, they gave it to us. We put it in a bag. We left. Bro, he started freaking out. He didn't see the bag. He thought that we were just looking at it, and we left. So, brothers, it's this big. It's not little. So there's people lined in and out. He's just doing that. So I had to pick his ass up. And I could tell people just kind of looking at me, but like, that's when I feel like more, I guess, I feel my adrenaline.
Yeah, because everyone's looking at you.
Because nobody, like, people just could think that he's just being a little, like, ass. You know?
Yeah.
And what's it called? Yeah, I don't know. It's just like, it's one of those where, you know, I guess at this point, bro, like, when stuff like that happens, I'm just kind of like, listen, man. One, mind your business. Two, if you say something, I'm gonna educate you. Yeah. You know, like, that's it. If you don't know what's going on, then if you ask me, I'll tell you. Yeah. Other than that, bro, look away.
Yeah, and I've gotten used to that because when I was a technician, like, we would go out into the community, go to the grocery store, whatever, help the kids, you know, maybe buy something or just practice walking in public. And people look at you kind of weird. Every once in a while, you get someone just look at you like, what's that kid doing? Like, give you a dirty look. Really? Yeah, all the time. Thank you.
Just a special talk.
Thank you.
It's apple juice.
Yeah. They just kind of look at you weird, and if a behavior happens, God forbid, like, they're just staring at you. Yeah. But you get kind of used to it. At least for me, Maybe because it's not my kid, you
Yeah.
know. But you get used to it. You just tunnel vision, work through it, do what you're supposed to do, what you're trained to do, and get past it. And yeah, as for me, like you're saying, you kind of recognize it. Dude, I got the best radar.
Yeah.
I got the best TISM, the TISM radar. I call it the TISM radar.
Yeah.
It's so good. Like whenever I see a kid, I just see him for like 5 seconds walk by. I'm like, oh, I'm pretty sure that kid, you know, has got something going on.
Yeah.
Like we were just on an airplane, going somewhere, and there's this kid up front with the parents, and this kid's like, you know, struggling to get out of his seat, and we're in the middle of the air, and the parents are like kind of holding him down and like, oh shit, like, is everything gonna be okay with the flight attendants? And
Oh, he was like kind of.
he was like trying to get up and
Yeah.
screaming.
Oh shit.
But the flight attendants were cool. They were super cool, actually. They were
Yeah.
like, oh, does he need anything? Does he need this, that? And they got him like some crackers or something.
Sure.
And eventually he was cool. But yeah, things like that can happen in public. And it's like the
Dude.
parents are pretty professional. They're just, again, like just dealing with it, not really looking around or, you know, second guessing what people are thinking. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's one of the dude. An airplane is already just a high stress. I remember, bro. We took him. I'm trying to think. We took him. Kim took him to Chicago with her.
Oh,
Just
yeah?
to go see. To go back to see her mom.
Okay.
And I remember. I'm trying to think. Oh no, I'm sorry. When we moved here, that was the first time, bro. I drove here with my dad, and you know, we 2 separate cars. And the whole time I'm thinking like, dude, he's gonna have to get on an airplane in 2 days. And I was just like, free. I'm like, in my mind, I'm all the scenarios.
Yeah,
bro.
you don't know.
And then, you know, they were like, yeah, everything was fine. And then I don't think I've gotten to play with him, but it was just her. And again, all I'm thinking about is like, dude, like, because once you're in the air, bro, you can't do nothing.
There's nothing you can do.
Like
yeah.
everybody, there's 50 people are just gonna be staring at you,
Yeah.
maybe looking at you funny. But hey, bro, we can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
The only thing I can do is, like you said, do certain things to try to calm them down.
Yeah,
and stuff like that. But yeah, man, that's the tough part, bro. A lot of you know, people don't like talking about it in general, but you know, when we go to the store, like, you know, he'll see something and he'll just go and grab it. And what he's getting a lot because he does that all the time. So like we'll be like, no, okay, we're gonna, you know, we got something at home. He'll put it away and he'll kind of look at you funny and then keep going. But like,
Okay.
you know, he's it's not like, oh my god, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
But,
yeah.
And it was like that. It was like that for sure. But
Yeah.
you know, again, just doing all the different things to try to mediate and.
Yeah, which typical
Okay.
kids do all the time. They'll want
Yes.
something, and they can't
Yeah.
have it. You see them crying in the store, but with kids like, you know, your kid, it's just amplified, you
Right.
know? So you just got to deal with it however you deal with it. The
Yeah,
correct
man.
way. Yeah.
What's it called? So, for, you know, parents out there, bro, who, you know, I guess have a small child or, you know, maybe even older child, bro, like, what are some things to look for initially, right? Like, beside, like, key things that you know, you might not notice because you're with them every day, but, like, small little things that you could be like, oh, I didn't realize that he did this or doesn't do that.
Again, deficits in communication. If they're not hitting certain landmarks, like, oh, he's this old, he should be saying this many words, he or she. And eye contact's another pretty big thing. Like, how come he's not looking anyone in the eyes? And there's this thing where people don't really want to work on eye contact because, like, oh, they're just uncomfortable looking at, you know, at eye contact. And it's like, well, okay. Like, I'm neither here nor there with it.
Sure.
If you want to work on it, cool. If you don't want to work with it, you know, it is what it is. But it is something you could look for.
That was probably the biggest one that when we started looking
Yeah.
at it, we're like, yo, he would never do that. Like, even if we're like shaking him, like, hey, he would never,
just won't
never,
look,
bro.
huh?
But like now, like you saw, like, you know,
Yeah.
he'll
It's pretty good, yeah.
He'll find you. You know?
Yeah.
And even when like I'll be over here and then I'll be like, hey, King, and he'll kind of walk towards me, but he'll be, you know, and stuff like that. Or like if we're trying to like have him pick something up, like he'll, you know, scan and then he'll eventually find it.
Yeah.
But like that was one of the big things where I'm like, hey, he doesn't do that.
Yeah. Yeah. Another thing is we call scripting. So it's kind of like reenacting something you saw. So, for example, if you watched a cartoon where the character is saying something like, you know, computer, computer, and he might act it out and do the exact movement, computer, computer, like in a random situation, like he's in the living room saying computer, computer. Like, what are you doing, dude? There's no computer here.
Yeah.
Well, he's scripting, he's acting it out.
He does that shit all the time.
Yeah, I know, yeah. And a lot of kids do that. That's another thing you'll look out for. yeah, communication, socialization, functional skills like things you don't really think about, washing your hands, going to the bathroom, putting your clothes on, things that take multiple steps that we don't think about. It's like these are multiple steps that are kind of hard for them. So those are things you look out for, yeah. But yeah, I mean, how's King doing? He's doing pretty good.
Dude, he's doing good, man. He's like 99% potty trained now. Like,
nice.
We still put a diaper at night just in case.
Yeah.
But like the past 3 weeks, he's been waking up dry.
Hey, I started his program. I started that program. Made a whole program for that. Yeah,
bro. Yeah, so that's been you did.
Yeah.
No, yeah, bro. So he's now it's like, dude, it's crazy, bro. Like, it's funny because I'll see him do shit that like I don't know, that like it's supposed to happen, but I get so happy because it's happening, but like even though it's supposed to happen later, you know. But like, bro, now he goes to the bathroom by himself.
Oh,
like,
dope.
If
nice.
we're like, hey, you gotta go pee, he's like, no, thank you.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
I'm trying to think. Like, he'll just listen a lot more. If I'm like, hey, can you turn that off? And he'll like.
He's very receptive. Like, you tell him to do something, he'll usually
he's
be able to go do it. Yeah.
Yeah, but like now it's quicker now. Like if we're like, hey, go put your shoes on, he'll go and look for him.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so it's like I personally think, bro, he's doing just amazing, bro.
Nice.
Like we took him to he's so smart too, man. Like everybody wants to say their kid is smart and shit.
Yeah,
but like, some about that motherfucker, bro.
yeah.
Nah, man, it's just like I took him to a music store.
Yeah.
And it was crazy is that he'll notice stuff before I do. You know, like he'll be like fire truck, and I'll just be driving, not even paying attention, and there's one coming directly this way. You know what I mean?
Really?
And I'll be like, fire truck. But we pull up to the music store, and he's like, piano. And I'm like, where? There's a huge sign right there.
Yeah.
We get in there, and then he's like, tuba, guitar.
Oh,
and
wow,
then he like
okay.
wants to go play. Yeah. He
Oh.
like, he'll go and like try to, I'm like, yo, dude, it's expensive. Like, but we're walking to the back of the store, and he sees a piano. He sits down, he scooches up, and then he like, I have a video, bro. He positions his hands. And he starts like kind of messing with it, and then he's going this way. He notices that when he goes this way, the keys get higher. So then he starts going this way to get to higher notes, and then like is noticing that these are like
It's like playing around with it, yeah.
And then again, he like sat up. He like kind of got himself ready. I don't know. It was pretty cool, but like little things like that he does. Dude, he before like I don't know if you remember, like if you wanted something, he would grab your hand and pull it towards you.
Yeah.
Or now he's just like, dude, I'm just gonna grab a chair, stand on this, like try to get this little box of cookies.
Try to get it himself.
but the certain things that he thinks about that I'm like, how did you even, But I was just like, good for you, bro. If you were able to get the cookie with doing all this, go ahead.
You kind of earned it, yeah. You figured it out? All right.
Interesting, bro. Kim was asking, ask how he feels about autistic kids speaking out, saying that ABA made them feel like they were being forced into not being themselves. Is that a thing?
I've heard of that, yeah. So it's like a group of, you kind of have to dig for it a little bit, but there's some people who went through ABA and saying ABA is, was wrong, it wasn't good, like they were forcing us to do certain things that we didn't want to do. And it's like I honestly don't know for sure, but I know, there's a history of, just like anything, there's bad practitioners, there's good practitioners, there's bad doctors, there's good doctors. And not that we're like doctors or anything, but
right.
It's the same concept of what you're doing was maybe not right. Maybe you were forcing this kid to, write something when, they really didn't want to do it. And it wasn't a matter of they didn't want to do the task, but maybe it was uncomfortable for them or something. So, this kid grows up doing something uncomfortable and, and then it turns out they didn't like it. But yeah, there's bad things and there's good things.
That's interesting.
We had to follow, as behavior analysts, to follow a ethical code, do a whole test on it, the ethics codes, and always do no harm is one of the main ones. So as long as you're abiding by the ethical codes, you should be good. Sure. You're not doing any harm. You're not, doing things like that. But again, there's bad practitioners. So.
Right.
Yeah.
I've never heard of that. I would think that it's
I've
something that would be you would want to do. But it's interesting, bro. There's I won't say where I saw, but there's some people who will just not go the step and get diagnosed or want to be enrolled in ABA?
Yeah, for sure.
That's common?
I won't say it's common, but you definitely see it.
It's a thing?
Certain cultures, it's such a big stigma
Yeah.
that they don't want to even acknowledge that this kid might have some type of, deficit or autism situation.
Well, obviously it's an essential thing. What'd you say?
Yeah, I think so. I've seen kids who, they haven't had ABA their whole lives. They're getting older in terms of like 7, 8, 9. Their behaviors are out of control. They're smacking people, spitting on people, and they get ABA for a while. And sometimes it's helpful. It's not all the time, it's not a magic pill, but I've definitely seen several clients with multiple improvements. But again, you kind of have to figure out because the main thing in ABA is behaviors. We deal with communication and socialization and all that stuff, but really what you learn is behavior change. Your kid's smacking someone, we had to figure out why. What's the function?
What's the DISC, right?
DISC is something else.
Oh.
DISC. Yeah, DISC is that's something else. But the 4 functions of behavior is sensory, escape, attention, and we call it tangible, something you could grab, something you want, like an iPad or whatever, a piece of juice. And everything we do, even as me and you, is based on one of those 4 functions or a combination. I'm drinking this because it feels good,
Yeah.
I'm slouching right now because it feels good. I work for money. You work for money, So we have to figure out what the function is. This kid smacking someone, is it because he wants something physical? Is it for attention? Is it because he's trying to escape the task we're trying to do? So we have to figure that out and then find the reason and then find an alternative behavior to smacking someone. So an alternative behavior to smacking someone who wants a drink, we would teach him or her how to say, drink please, or I want the drink, instead of smacking you.
Right. Now that doesn't necessarily have to apply just to autism, right?
No, not at all.
Because I it's really interesting because it's yeah, man, when you broke it down like that, it's just okay, well, it's a deeper look. You're not just gonna get dude, can you stop, just spitting at me or whatever?
Yeah.
It's okay, well, he's doing that, now let's figure out why. And that honestly just teaches you how to parent, bro. How to parent the correct way. Because that's the thing too. We made a bunch of mistakes we didn't know.
Right.
We didn't know. So now anytime he does something, well, it's hard as an instinct, bro. When we got it our whole lives to be hey, you better stop or whatever.
Yeah.
But now it's just an understanding of okay, well, what are you trying to do? What's the goal? You got my attention. Now what?
Yeah. Yeah, and kind of got to figure out why are they doing it? Are they screaming right now for attention? Well, we don't want to reinforce that because we don't want him screaming randomly for attention. That's not the right way you get attention. So you either ignore it and then reinforce them when they are appropriate. And because you can't scream in public, you can't go to school, sit down at a desk and just start screaming and get kicked out. You can't function in life like that. So
is there a benefit, dude, from catching it earlier than
for sure
2 versus 6?
For sure. Yeah, the earlier the better.
Why?
Yeah. Just the earlier you start getting those reinforcement systems going and the right direction, because the longer, for example, if you're hitting someone since you're 2, now you're 6, you're still hitting someone to get whatever attention, that's really ingrained in you at that point. That's 5 years or 4 years. Whether if you catch it quick, it's not so much ingrained in you. You could change it a little quicker. Yeah, I got this kid I'm working with now. He's how old is he? I think he's 3 or 4. Started ABA 4 months ago. When we first got there, he was wild, just tantruming for every little thing. Anything he wanted. It was these big tantrums, sometimes lasting for hours.
Really?
Yeah. But now he sits there. He'll use his little, we call it PEX board, the icons you can choose. He'll choose it, do what he's supposed to do. He's starting to talk now, requesting what he wants instead of
That's
just
awesome.
screaming and crying. The parents are like, oh my God, this is, life. This is the one who went to Mexico.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah. was just life changing.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Dude, it honestly feels like that, man. It feels like, you know, once you start to see progress, it's like,
yeah,
it's a little breath, but it's also like, you know, you can't help but just feel just happy, man. Like,
Yeah,
dude,
yeah.
hell yeah, like he's getting it, you know?
yeah. And that's like, what's next?
Yeah,
It's
for
always like, what's next?
You know, it's funny, bro. I always think about the conversation that you and I had when he was. This is when he first started. I think it was 3, 4,
Okay.
or whatever. And I was like, man, I just wonder, like, is he gonna be able to, like, you know, what's gonna happen with school? Like, is he gonna have
Yeah.
a girlfriend, bro? Like, is he gonna be able to be like his dad and just, you know, go through these shorties?
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm just, you know, like sleepovers, bro. And then I'm just like, I had this whole like epiphany, and then I look at you and I'm like, but he's also 4. You know what I mean? I always think about that. I'm just like, you know, just day by day, bro, day by day, and task and every time. I'm trying to think what he did more recently. Where I was just so happy. I'm just like, dude, that's amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah, it'll be a little, what's it called? Like little moments. You'll see, oh, he's doing that now. He's progressing.
Yeah.
Like, so it's good. It's good. As long as they're progressing little by little, you know, it's going to take a little while, but yeah.
No, for sure.
Yeah.
Now for like on the spectrum, you know, whether it could be, you know, what is the term? Not as impacted or very
Yeah, I guess.
impacted?
Yeah.
Is there like certain things like that you see where it'll only be a speech thing? Because like I did a poll on Instagram after you agreed, and I was like, not even a poll. I was just like, what do you know about autism? And then people were just crazy, bro.
Oh yeah.
And when I was like, yo, I'm gonna have somebody on, you know, it was overwhelming the response. But
Dope.
you know, people were like, you know, a lot. It would be like, oh, my brother, but he's nonverbal. My sister, but she's high functioning, and stuff like that. But like, you know, obviously I don't want to get too much into them, but is there certain things that they only don't talk, they only, you know, flap their hands, or like, is it usually a little bit of everything that makes it autistic?
That's a hard question to answer because they say, like, what's the saying? They say you met one autistic kid, you've met one autistic kid. Like, everyone is different.
Sure.
You know, there are some kids who maybe they're just kind of awkward and flap their hands when they're excited, and then there's kids who have all these issues you got to deal with. Like I was saying, spitting, attention seeking, aggression, and every kid's kind of different, honestly. In my experience, the majority of kids I've worked with have a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit of everything. They might have maybe only one type of behavior. Like the main behaviors, like when I do these assessments, like the main behaviors we concentrate on, which seems to kind of, you can usually get one of these for each kid. Like it's either tantruming, aggression, elopement, which is like running away.
Really?
Yeah, like just
What do you
running
mean?
off. Like say we have your kid sit down here, he doesn't want to do it, he'll just run off. That's elopement. Yeah. Negative attention seeking. Yeah, screaming. We could usually encompass one of those behaviors into a kid who has, you know, a behavior. But
Dude,
yeah.
King, when he was small, when we first moved here, bro, during quarantine, he like once he was able to start to like figure out how to open the doors,
Right.
and open the garage,
You run off.
bro. This one time, bro, it was like the scariest funny moment of my life. It was funny after, bro.
Yeah.
But, so we were living with my parents, bro, and the neighbor to the right, he has 2 German shepherds, and they love him, bro. Like they jump on him, and he would get kind of scared, but he would, you know, be with them.
Yeah.
But he was very familiar with them. One time, bro, I think I was in the bathroom upstairs. I don't know. It was just there's 3 of us in the house, bro. The door is open. I'm like, where's King? Bro, this dude jetted
Like
for
the front door?
bro. At our house, yeah.
Oh shit.
And he just opened the door, bro, and went. I'd just be like, "Where are you?" Because he would kind of do that. He would like do it, but then he'd look to see if you chase him.
Right.
So I think it'd be a game, but like, we were all looked away for like 10 seconds, bro, and he was like down the street, bro.
Dang. Okay.
It was hot as hell, bro. His feet were on the. I had Crocs, bro, but I couldn't find those. I ran. I had blisters, and I'm like,
damn.
but he was fine. But it was just like, through in a split second, like he was down the cul-de-sac, bro. Just diaper, no nothing on. I'm like, what are you doing, bro?
Yeah.
It was the scariest thing ever, bro. But like, so even here, dude, we have like we drilled 2 in every room back home.
Yeah.
we put the little keychains thing where like you're not gonna do that shit again.
So you hear it?
Yeah. So like, I mean, we have it here just in case, but he hasn't done that in forever, bro. Because I don't know, but that was just like, I don't know. That was like the only time that this happened, bro. But it was like, because everything goes through your mind. You're like, what if somebody kidnapped this one?
We get hit by a car. Dude. Yeah.
But I guess the reason why when I ran outside, the dogs were barking like crazy.
Yeah.
I think trying to get like his attention or like just let somebody know like, hey, King is over there. You know?
Yeah.
Dude, it was wild.
Dude, I got some wild stories.
Dude, I bet.
Oh my god, I got some wild stories. Like you remind me of this one kid. So when I worked in San Jose, so this kid is like huge. He's maybe about the size of me, but buffer. His dad was a former 49ers player.
Damn.
This kid's like 16. He would fuck people
really?
up. He would fuck people up. Like he's not nonverbal, but he can only say maybe 1 or 2 words at a time. Mm-hmm. This one time I walked in on this kid because at the time I wasn't a BCBA, but I was like what we called a behaviorist. Yeah. So I would like walk around putting out fires because this clinic was a clinic. It was a crazy clinic.
Sure.
So I would walk around like help people out. So this one RBT, she I think someone told me, oh, she needs help. So I walked over there and I see her and this guy, big ass hands, maybe about the size of your hands, maybe a little bigger, like grabbed her by the head and like smacked her head on the table. I was like, oh fuck. And then like I laugh now, but at the time I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
So I had to go in and help her and like,
what do you do, bro? What are you supposed to do?
So this kid, so we have to find the function, right? So this kid,
in that moment, you're like, okay, what's going on?
Yeah,
Jesus.
yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah, in the moment.
I can laugh because my son is autistic.
I can laugh because I work. So, yeah,
oh
but you gotta think, okay, why is he doing this? And like I know the kid, so I pretty quickly figured it out. So he's looking for attention from one of these other RBTs that he really likes. The guy's name's Mark. He's like, Mark. And he actually has this girl's head looking at him, Mark. So I tell him to like go away because we don't want to give him the attention. And I walk in, and whenever you deal with aggression, you can't just let it happen. You gotta, even if you're giving attention to it, I can't let this girl like get her ass kicked. That's
so crazy, bro.
So I kind of like untie his hands, and he has a chunk of hair. I'm trying to like pry his fingers out, so it's not to just tear out all the hair. We get some. So I get it out. She just walks away. Doesn't even look at anyone. Just walks away. So I'm dealing with this kid, like, I have his hands, I'm holding his hands because I don't want him to, like, grab me.
Yeah.
I just have his hands down here, I'm, like, just, like, holding him till he's calm. He's looking over, Mark. And then he, it takes a while, I'm just holding him like this. And then, like, I back up, let him go. If he walks towards me, again, I grab his hands, back him up, let him go. And eventually he gets kind of bored of it. And then, like... You're like, okay, what do you want to do? What do you want? Like, what is your motivation right now? He's like, oh, I want to, I think you want to, like, go outside or something. He's like, okay. So I sit him down. Look, we're going to do this, this, and this, and then we can go outside. Mm-hmm. So he had to do these. I asked the RBT who was getting her ass kicked. I was like, what were you guys doing when he started kicking her ass? And then she was like, oh, we were trying to do this this worksheet or something.
Sure.
I was like, okay, so we're going to finish this worksheet. Okay, we're going to do, like, I didn't make him do the entire thing. I made him do, like, a portion of it. We're going to do this many, I don't remember what it is, but this many problems or whatever, and then we could go outside. So I have what's called a token board. I think you know what that is.
Yeah.
Like, he earns these little stars or whatever. It can be anything. And then he gets enough, then he could get what he wants. So we did it. He got what he wants. He went outside. It was cool. Another even crazier story with the same kid. So I was with someone else. I don't know what happened exactly, but he ran out into the parking lot. And this is there's a long dirt road. He runs all the way down this dirt road, like half a mile. All the other RBTs are chasing him.
You say he's like 16?
I think he was 16 at the time, 15 or 16. Big dude. We get all the way to the street, like the main street out there. And then I finally catch up, and he like walks into the middle of the crosswalk and just gets butt naked.
Really?
Butt naked, yeah. 15, 16 years old. Dick hanging out, like parking, like people driving, and then like they stop obviously, and they're just watching this kid be butt naked and like five people.
The middle of the road,
the middle of the road, a busy road. Yeah.
But how did he know that? I mean,
we just followed the path. You just walk down the path, and the first thing you hit is the crosswalk. And yeah, just butt naked in the street. The other RBTs finally like get him back and take him back to the center. But yeah, we guys close on and it's whatever.
That's wild, bro.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So like, okay, with stuff like that, bro, like, you know, I guess because that's always the question, like for us, bro. Like, thankfully he has a late birthday, so he's not gonna go to school till next year.
Okay.
But I want to ask you about this too. Yeah. I've talked to like Lani about Leilani and Ali and the RBT. Yeah. I forget her name, dude. But I was like, okay, so you know, Nevada isn't the greatest with public schools, so I was like, private school is a must. You know, whatever it costs. But I was, you know, they have certain programs or whatever. But like, I'm thinking, you know, because everybody where we go is pretty young, bro. You know? I mean, from what I see. Yeah. So it's just like, I guess what happens, bro, is like private school a good route, I guess, depending where you're at. Yeah, I don't know. That's like the next thing that we're kind of getting ready for. Like we have to like be on the waiting list basically and go interview and all that stuff. Right. And this shit's expensive, bro. Yeah. But it's like, what I mean, the thing is, we want to give him, obviously, this is why we do all this, bro, to be able to just give him the best shot. Sure. You know what I mean? And put him in whatever he needs, bro, to be the best that he can be. Yeah. So, like, I guess, what are your thoughts on like that, like private school or you know, that whole process?
Yeah, like
get older too.
Yeah, like you said, Nevada is not the best for schools. Clark County is not the best for schools. So yeah, the advantage of private school is a lot of them, and you have to check, but a lot of them will let you bring an RBT with the kid into the school. So that way they have a 1-to-1. They're doing their thing in the class. As far as I know, they're only gen ed classes though. So yes, he has a 1-to-1, but it's a general education classroom. Whereas the public schools, they have a special education classroom, but they don't allow the RBTs in. So it's basically like, I just talked to a parent, their kid's in a special ed class, and these kids are pretty severe. But there's one teacher, one aide, and 8 kids, all autistic kids. So it's like, dang, like I can imagine being there. That'd be really tough. Yeah, 2 teachers and 8 kids? No way.
For sure.
So there's pros and cons. Honestly, I would go to each school, I mean, as many as you can, and ask if you can observe. I don't know if they would let you. I imagine they would. But observe the class and see how things are. Again, private schools are good because you can have RBT, but it's a gen ed class, which might be a little too fast paced. I don't know. It depends. But
there's one school that I found. I think there was 2 of them that I narrowed it down to. It was like St. Vayer and St. Anne's, and one of them had a special ed program. Okay. And there was like 3 kids in the last one. Okay. So I was like, dude, that sounds good. Like, yeah. And I wish I knew her name, brother RBT, but she was like, yeah, sometimes they'll let us like. They'll have an RBT go in there with him, or certain classes, or some part of the day, or he'll go there for a little bit and then come here. Okay. And then just to kind of, you know. But every time I tell them private school, they're like, because I don't know if they're allowed to say, yeah, you should do that, because I guess they work with some schools.
Yeah, they work with specific private schools.
So like they won't really say anything. They'll be like, yeah, yes, do that. You know. Yeah. And you know, you know. I told, you know, one of them, it was like, if you're part of their church, which we're both, you know, Christian Catholic, I was just like, you know, they took off like $3,000.
Oh, really?
I was like, hey, Sunday, Sunday we're there, first row.
Is it capstone?
No.
Okay.
The school?
Yeah.
It was no, St. Valor and St. Anne's. Okay. But those are the 2 that, because I work in I guess about the area, and that's where they're like, those are the ones you want to look for.
As always with schools.
Yeah, they're like those. Yeah. They're like, it's a lot, but you want to go to school, right? I'm like, yeah, dude, whatever. Yeah. I think, like, the goal is to get them into, what's the Gordon, Bishop Gordon, the high school. Okay. You know, and they're like, you know, to get into that one, you need to there's like a handful of schools that lead into that one. Okay. That you have a better chance of getting into. Okay. That one, dude, it's like $20,000 a year.
Jesus, dude.
That one, but that's a high. I think that one is 8 through whatever. Isn't that crazy though?
Dude, the education private education has so much money in
I
it.
know.
Like, it's crazy how much money people make off of this.
Did you go to public school?
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah.
Where I went, my school was really good.
Was it?
They were like, well, surprisingly, it was really, really,
My
really
school
good.
was hood, bro.
Really?
My school was kind of hood.
Dude,
yeah.
everybody that like I know from like downtown, bro, yeah, they went to terrible school. Like, because they were like, like Chicago zip code.
Okay.
I had like I was like 45 minutes away.
Yeah.
And it was like, out of my school in the area, it was like really, really rich white kids, and then it was us. So they're like, oh my god, like we're going over there. They used to call it Munda Slime. Like, we're gonna go over here to this. I'm like, bro, shut up. But like looking at other schools, I'm like, bro, this is not bad.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, the school I went to, like, the area it was in was not bad. It was a brand new school they just built, but all the other surrounding schools were pretty ghetto.
Yeah.
And like, so they all they used to do this a lot back when I was a kid. They would like put your zip code as someone you know in the area, and then you get to go to the school. Yeah, it was really popular. So all these, like, you know, hood schools came, and I was there. I was like, oh, this school's pretty ghetto. There are fights every single day.
Yeah.
Every day there's a fight. Same with middle school, actually.
Yeah, my middle school was rough because it was like, it's great because like when my freshman year in high school, day 2, they kicked out all the gang members, bro.
Oh, they figured it out?
Everybody, yeah. I guess, so it was like the day 2. But I remember day 1, I'm just like, dude, kids with face tattoos and shit. I'm just like, what is going on,
Yeah,
bro?
kids with like guns and backpacks.
And that was the thing. They're like, yo, that dude, you know, they're beefing with these guys. So they're like, listen, man, be careful, whatever, because they were getting into it on the bus stop.
It's like prison.
It's bad, bro. I'm just like, yo. But it was day 2 is when they're like, I'm like, where is all these people? But like, I remember walking past, I'm like, dude, this is going to be rough, bro. And then everybody was just out of here.
Yeah.
But it was, anyways. But that's the thing, bro, is you know, trying to get them into that private school and give them the best.
Yeah, I'm not super familiar with the process of getting into schools. But again, there's pros and cons. I would just ask to observe because...
What would be a con of like trying to do that?
A con of private schools?
Yeah.
Because it's a gen ed class.
Oh, I got you.
So if they need, you know, extra support...
Yeah.
The teacher's going to concentrate on the majority, you know? They're not going to concentrate on this one kid. But the one kid will have an RBT with them.
Yeah.
So, again, yeah, there's pros and cons to it. Yeah. Autism, how it's developing, and ABA is a fairly new field.
Is it?
Yeah. I'm not sure exactly how long, but, I mean, if you look into, like, the infancy of, like, mental health, autism treatment, it's pretty dark.
Oh, that's what it... Why?
They look like electroshock therapy and...
Really?
Oh, yeah. I'm talking about, like, the infancy of it. Like, back in, I don't know how long, maybe 1800s or something.
Jesus,
but,
bro.
yeah, like, the electroshock therapy, they'll do, what's it called? Fuck. I forgot the term for it, but, like, taking certain parts of your brain out to, like, you know, try and work stuff out. But, again, those are the dark ages. So, I mean, it's developed quite a bit now, and now it's a real therapy. It's a real treatment. And everything we do is evidence-based. Sure. Nothing we do is, oh, I wonder if this will work. You know, it's like, oh, there's evidence behind this. There's research behind this. We've seen this work in certain situations. Let's try this, you know? So,
yeah, we were talking a little bit before we started recording, bro, about, like, where does it come from, you know? And, you know, what you said was pretty...
Where does it come from?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly where it comes from, honestly.
It's like not even... It's not like nobody knows type shit, right?
I don't know about that. I know it's a branch of psychology, you know, behavior science, behavior analysis, and just turn it into applied behavior analysis. Now we're actually applying it. This is pretty easy to look up, though. I think you just look up the history of autism treatment and go back to like the beginning and
that's wild.
Look into the dark.
I believe
stuff.
it though.
Yeah.
For sure.
Because back in the day, like you think, oh, this person is, you know, he's not there. What's wrong with this guy? Let's throw him in a cage, or let's experiment on him or her, and which actually, like, in terms of like mental health in the community, a lot of these homeless people are.
I was just gonna bring that up. Bro.
Yeah, a lot of them. Sometimes I see, like, I got the radar. I see them. I'm like, I would not be surprised if this grown man who's talking to himself has autism.
Yeah.
He might have schizophrenia, but he might have autism. You know.
That's what I was gonna ask you, bro. Because I've read that before. That like a lot of the time, you know, it could be that like autism, but it could be a bunch of other stuff. Interesting that you brought schizophrenia though, bro. I have a brother. He's 34. He's 35. He just turned 30 yesterday. And he got. We have different dads, but he got diagnosed with schizophrenia, bro, in prison. You know, but like in school, bro, he was normal. I mean, with him, I think it was just like he was getting into like a lot of fights and like drugs and stuff. And then obviously being in 15 years, bro.
Yeah.
So it's like with it just kind of came to me like the homeless thing, bro. Does autism ever progress into something else? Because you said like it can't really be treated. It can just be helped, right? But can it do that?
Like turn into another like
Yeah,
thing?
like can it, you know,
like say
bleed into like schizophrenia or something?
There's a lot of comorbidities. So like if you have autism, you might have ADHD, you may have this and that. In terms of like having autism and it turning into something else, not that I know of.
That's what I thought too, because
Yeah.
those are separate genes.
Yeah. It's
And-
completely separate, you know,
Yeah.
disorders or whatever.
Because with him, bro, I told you we had we took because he was like gasping, bro. Like when he sleeps, he wasn't sleeping good.
Yeah.
So we took him, and then they you know, they were like, you know, he might have ADHD. Actually, I think you told me.
Did I?
Yeah. And then we went to a doctor, and he said the same thing. So we were like, let's get him evaluated.
Yeah.
And the doctor, she was like, you know, he was doing so good too, bro. We sat him on the thing, he was just chilling. I'm just like, hell yeah, bro. You know. And then they were like, I mean, we don't think he does. He's also autistic. Like,
Yeah.
if you want to bring him back in a year, I guess we can reevaluate. But
No, I can't evaluate for that. Yeah, for ADHD.
huh?
I don't evaluate for ADHD.
No, that's what she was telling us.
Oh, bring him back
Yeah,
to
she was like,
okay.
if you guys want to bring him back and evaluate him or whatever, but like, I would say, you know, he's fine.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
you know, but that was another thing too. I didn't know that those two can coincide, or like, I'm like, well,
Commonly, yeah.
I'm like, I don't think he's not sleeping well because he wakes up and he's hype. And they're like, well, with kids it's different. With kids, when they're not sleeping good, they're hyperactive. So it's hard to. They were like, well, you know, okay, well, they don't want to do the ADHD, so let's check his sleep. That's when we found that he has sleep apnea. So we put him with the machine. They're like, you know what? Let's take his tonsils out. This is all within a month.
Dang.
We
Okay.
took his tonsils out. That was just terrible. It was
Yeah.
good. It was awesome. He was just morphined up on the bed.
Yeah.
So you know
Dang.
that we have another follow up appointment, but he's not sleeping with the thing anymore. He's sleeping good.
Okay.
You know, his attention is getting a little bit better,
Okay.
but like he's still, you know, being how he is.
Yeah.
But it is interesting, man, how certain things can kind of, you know, affect or bleed into that. You know.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. There's a lot of what we call comorbidities that come with autism. It's a spectrum. Some people have this extra stuff going on. Some people it's strictly autism. So.
Is there other things besides like ADHD that could be?
A lot of kids will have gastrointestinal issues.
Really?
So a lot of kids will say have a restrictive diet, like they will only eat Cheez-Its. You try and get them to eat something else, it's this big ordeal, you know? So the kid grows up only eating Cheez-Its, for example. So your stomach gets messed up. You eat Cheez-Its, just Cheez-Its and soda your entire life, things are going to happen. So they have intestinal issues. Constipation is extremely common.
Usually takes 10 shits a day.
Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah, it's super common.
Yeah. Wow. I don't know.
So it really depends. Again, it's a spectrum, so it varies. But
I'm telling you, bro. I think you know. I think he's. I think he's gonna be all right. I think he's gonna be cool, bro. Because it's like, that's the thing too, bro. We don't like. At least we try not to, but like we don't try to put like a little barrier on him.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's just like I'm at the store walking around, like I'll hold his hand, but sometimes be like, "Come on, let's go." Like,
Yeah.
you know, just to not put him in this little box, but just so he
Yeah.
can try to just get him into like this. This is society, bro. You know.
Yeah.
And yeah, dude, I'm telling you, like I think he went in his diaper right now, but like bro, yeah, I don't know, he's awesome. I'm very thankful, bro, because again, I see we're talking about before. Sometimes like they're just not sleeping, bro. I have a friend who his kids are 5 and 6. They're not autistic, bro, but they're not sleeping all night. They wake up and go to their bed. Like every time I see him, bro, he's just like, hey, Chewy. I'm like, damn, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And again, bro, it's just like we're just. I don't know. I think we. It sounds. It's like I told you, bro. It sounds crazy, but like I think we got it good, man. With the spectrum that he's on.
Yeah, like as you know, when I was your BCBA, like we're not allowed to say like, oh, your kid's gonna be okay, or like make promises and stuff like that. I feel like your kid's, he's gonna be all right.
Yeah.
It's gonna take work.
Sure.
You can't just be like, okay, you're good. Leave you alone. It's gonna take work, but I see him being okay. Making it through life, being social, doing his thing. It'll just take work. So, yeah. I mean.
Yeah, I'm gonna cry, bro. Dude, should we get a puppy, bro?
Did I get a puppy?
No, I said, should we get a puppy?
Oh, if you want that extra work, man.
Just to have his little guard dog.
Yeah, I know.
We've talked about it, but I don't know.
Yeah, people are like, dogs are good for people on the spectrum. I mean, that's up to you, man.
He's a savage though, bro. Like with the two dogs that were German Shepherds, bro, big. Big diesel dogs, bro. He's pulling on their ears or tails.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, bro, chill. They just met you.
He's gonna bite you. Yeah.
They gotta be on your ass, bro.
But yeah, it might be good. It'll just be a lot of work,
Yeah.
But it's up to you.
PM my office, bro. We're gonna fight.
Yeah. Being this fresh new office. But but I'm curious, how was it for you? Having a kid, you figure this out, and now it's not what you expected.
Yeah.
You expected all these things from this kid you had.
Yeah.
So how did that kind of change your, I don't know, your perception on what's going to happen in your life?
Bro, that's a really good question, man. I don't think anyone's ever asked me that, but it was interesting, bro, because when, I've always been, then when we had him, bro, we were broke. Yeah. Terrible jobs.
You guys were in your 20, right?
20, bro.
Yeah.
Barely making rent.
Yeah.
Like, I used to work at a restaurant, bro. I used to steal soap.
Yeah.
So we can wash stuff with your toilet paper, bro.
Yeah.
Cheese so we can make quesadilla. It was bad, bro.
Yeah.
I remember Kim would come home like, oh, I made you soup. Thank God I worked in a restaurant. I'm like, oh, I just had a double burger. Some fries. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, like, it was tough, man. And we had him. That was before we knew. But, like, and then I started cutting hair, and then my whole world changed. And then, like I said, now, doing real estate and investing and stuff. So,
nice.
So I feel like it's I've always had that extreme drive. Now it's times 1,000, bro. Because, now it's like, okay, yeah, I like nice shit, but it's also I'll give it all just for him to have whatever he needs.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of there's a driving that he's my why.
Yeah.
Yeah. And again, bro, like if his school is 20 bands, okay, well we got to figure out how we're gonna do that. If one, and I've ran the numbers, bro. I know what it's gonna cost us, or what it's gonna take us to get him the best. Yeah. One investment property is gonna pay for every year for school.
Oh wow, nice.
And like a fourplex. Is gonna pay for that $20,000 a year high school with the best education, with the best sports. A lot of those kids go D1, whatever. So it's like, do whatever, and they say it takes a village. Yeah, it does. It takes a village, and two hands from everybody. I think to raise somebody with autism, bro. Yeah. Like my parents are amazing, dude. They, since we moved, it's been a little, because now it's like, okay, well, with the surgery and stuff like that, it's been tough. So we just kind of keep them here, but it's just like it's like not hot potato, but it's like in the last play, in football, everybody's just throwing it to each other and trying to make it to the end zone.
Trying to figure it out.
That's how it has to be, bro.
Yeah.
Like it's fourth down. There's no more time left. We have to score.
Yeah.
So it's like all hands on deck. We have a group chat. We talk about everything, bro. So it's like, it's just it's fun, and again, we're in a position now to where if we stayed right here, everything will be fine. You know what I mean? But I have goals. I want, whatever. But things, So I think it was scary, man. But like, you're gonna sink or you're gonna swim. Yeah. To be honest with you, and it is crippling a little bit though, man, because you just want him to be, I just want him to be. I don't want to say normal. I want him to have the best shot, like, in society. So when we go to, I don't know, to the park, and I just want him to go play, and he goes up to a kid and like try to touch his face and his hair. I'm like, king. You know what I mean? Yeah. But like, I just want him to have fun. He wakes up, bro, with a huge smile, and like that. Today, me and Kim were in the room. busted in the door, just climbed on the bed, and like flopped in between us. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? So it's just like, how can I not put 1,000% in everything?
Yeah,
And her
yeah.
too. You know, like she holds it down here. My parents hold it down.
Yeah.
And yeah, bro, it's a whole ecosystem. But
Yeah.
you know, it is scary, bro.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. I imagine it's it's really tough because I work with parents every day,
Yeah.
and I see some of them like some of them are struggling, and
Yeah.
they got, like I said before, their eyes are like pitch black down to their, it's bad, and they say they're not sleeping, and they're causing problems in their relationships, and it's tough. So,
Dude, and you know, we started going to marriage counseling not because of anything with him,
mm-hmm.
but it was just like, you know, if the shit's work, bro, everything,
Mm-hmm.
you know, like with him, her, and I. But it's just like, listen, we need to make sure we're okay because
Mm-hmm.
we got a bigger focus.
Plus, when your focus is so much on the kid, I
You-
imagine it
there's
makes
no
it hard.
leeway. There's no like. I'm pretty I'm exhausted right now, bro. But like, there's no. But it doesn't like I have to put my feelings to the side.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
And I'm okay with that. It's just being a provider, but
Yeah.
you know, it's rough, bro. And yeah, dude, I've read stories where, you know, the relationship just goes south, and
Yeah.
you know, it's a lot. You know what I mean? But I do think there is something about, you know, understanding your partner, and you know, we go to the therapist together, and then sometimes we do separate ones, and it's a huge outlet. This is a huge outlet for me.
Sure.
My
Yeah.
clients, so like I never feel like just, oh my god, I need to talk to somebody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So imagine that, plus you're not sleeping. So dude, not sleeping is like
Yeah.
the worst torture I've ever had in my life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm so spoiled. It's fucked up, bro. Like if it's once in a million, bro, where he'll just won't go to sleep. And I'm like, dude, come on, bro. Like I'm just trying to go to sleep. And it's like 9:30.
And you got work the next day.
It's like 9:30. And then we put him to bed at 7:30. And I'm like, and then I have to realize, like, should we really, bro?
It's 9:30.
Like, it's 9:30.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's yeah, you know, I do feel, and that's another question I had, bro. Like, I've thought about, but I just don't want to seem intrusive, bro. But like, I think I'm one of the youngest parents there. At the
Probably
place.
are. When you
know?
told me how old you were, I was kind of surprised. Like,
Yeah.
like 22 or 23 or something?
26.
Oh, 26?
Yeah,
What the
I'm
fuck?
old, bro. I know.
Dude, I thought you were 22. What the hell? I remember you told me something. I was like, oh, dang, you're young. Yeah.
But like, I've thought about, like, you know, because it's rough, man. Like, you know, trying to, like, I don't know, maybe in the summertime on like a Sunday, have like the parents, let's all go to this park or something.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know, because it's like sometimes, bro, I've said this before, like not to anybody, but like sometimes I see there's this one parent, bro, that I told you, like that has the two young kids. I just want to give them a hug, bro, because
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
just like, dude, I know, I feel you, but
Yeah.
you feel it times two.
Yeah.
Everything's gonna be cool, you know.
Yeah.
That's some of the things too, bro. Like, especially with kids, like now he's getting bigger, so like I've always wanted to just spend as much time with him as possible, but like
Mhm.
now it's just like, you know, it's every time I get a chance to run, give him a hugs. I know he's gonna get bigger, and who knows what the future holds. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
It's it's a lot, bro.
It's always going to be something. Like, right now, you're working on, I don't know what you're working on right now, but, maybe expressive language or something. He gets past that, there's going to be the next step, and the
Yeah.
next step, and the next step, and it's not going to end for a while because you're going to work on the next thing. But, yeah, I guess you just have to, do what you're doing.
Yeah.
Keep working, and it'll be all right.
Does working with what you do, like make you not want to have children?
Scare me to have kids a little bit.
Dude, I bet, bro. That's honestly, but one of the things where it's just like people, like, again, because you don't talk to people, maybe you don't know, but it's just like no one says it. That's a. They're like, oh, but it could happen, but like, you know.
Yeah, and I feel bad saying that, because there's great kids out there,
Yeah.
but I've also seen the far end of it, of
too.
the dark side of it, where
Yeah.
it's like these parents aren't sleeping, they're getting their ass kicked all day, it's affecting their relationship. I work with this one mom back when I lived in San Jose, big kid, and she just has bruises all over her arms. She's not really sleeping well. This kid just is negative attention seeking towards his mom all day long. Like, damn, what a fucking life you live,
I know,
dude.
man.
I'm there for like a few hours a day or a week, and yeah, it's just tough. So it kind of scares you, like, oh man, I don't want that.
I know.
So, especially my wife, she's a speech therapist. So she used to work with me in the same center I was talking about earlier. Her too, she's like, I'm kind of scared, like, you know. Dude. So you never really know, but yeah, it makes you think twice. Sure. It makes you think twice. Yeah.
You gotta get snipped, bro.
Yeah, I guess no one's sniffing nothing. I'm not sniffing anything.
I'm January 1st. Hopefully nothing happens to me before then.
Yeah.
But that's when my insurance kicks in.
You can get sniffed?
January 1st, I'm in the office, bro.
Oh, man.
Yeah, dude, because we talked about it again, bro. Like, it's just, I don't know why. I mean, you gotta be compassionate about, you know, parents that are obviously going through this. But at the same time, bro, it's just like, you know, I see you every morning, and it does not look like you're having an amazing morning. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just like, listen, and private school for 2 kids is more expensive, bro. That's kind of my So it's
that's 40 grand.
That's 40 bands, bro.
Yeah.
So no, man, but it's just at the end of the day, bro. Like, you know, he needs all of our attention. That's what we're gonna give him. You know?
Yeah, and I think some people don't understand even when they have the kid with autism, because like, oh, your kid's super high functioning, and it's like, oh, it's not so bad. Like, he's a great kid. Like, yeah, he is a great kid, but you don't know this other parent who's dealing with this really severe kid. Yeah. Who's getting their ass kicked every day. You know, it's not a fun situation to be in. So it depends. It honestly depends. You never know. So yeah, man, I don't know. But
no, it's interesting, bro. Bryant.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you for stopping by.
Yeah, dude.
Anything else you want to tell the people, bro?
No, man.
Anybody who you know feels after they see this, so like, you know what, maybe I should go take my little one to go maybe get evaluated.
Yeah, I mean, if you feel like your kid might need to be evaluated, yeah, just do it. It's not a it's better to do it. It's not a death sentence. It's better to do it early than just do it late. If you get it early, I mean, the sooner the better. So get it done with. And if you're cool, you're cool. And if you're not, then, you know, like you said, it's not a death sentence. You'll figure it out. And the earlier, the better. So, yeah, man.
There it is. Brian, I appreciate you, bro, for coming out here, bro. Thank you so much.
Absolutely, dude. Anytime.
Hey, I appreciate you guys. We'll see you in the next one. Peace.